So this video is a follow-up on a video that I did several months ago. I'll add the link for that video below so that if you want to go and get the first part of the story in full, you can. But I'm going to give you a brief overview first of what's going on. So a few months ago, I finally reached the point with this channel where I could monetize it. And in preparation for that, I started going back through some of my older videos which had copyright claims on them, because quite often they are claims that you can dispute, where, for example, you've used a song in the background because you're doing a reaction video and that song has been claimed as copyright. You can claim that as fair use. Or if it is essentially original content, fair use. So I was going through and doing a cleanup and just putting in disputes on any videos where there had been copyright claims, just to get that sorted, essentially. And I discovered that a bunch of videos that I had put up before I'd even really started using this channel as a channel had copyright claims made on them. Now, just background with this channel. Before I decided to create this as a channel, this used to be my private YouTube account. You know how you set up your YouTube account so you can comment on people's videos or like people's videos, etc. That's all this was to start with. But I was preserving videos of the Australian Rosny Children's Choir. You may have seen a video that I put up earlier this week where I was telling the story of the Australian Rosny Children's Choir. They are no longer around, but they were, for a while, the number one choir in Australia. And with the director, her husband, and the promoter of the choir all being gone, everything is starting to just vanish. So I wanted to start preserving their music for former choristers to go and listen to, and also so I had it there for whenever I wanted to watch it or listen to it. So I had been saving various songs from the choir onto this YouTube account before it was actually a proper channel. So at the time when I put those videos on, obviously, because this wasn't a proper YouTube channel, it was just my private account, when I saw that there were copyright claims on them, I was just like, yeah, whatever, you know. Of course there are copyright claims on it. The Rainbow Connection, why wouldn't there be a copyright claim on it? The Entertainer, yep, that's a pretty well-known song. Why wouldn't there be a copyright claim on it? But of course, in going through and doing my cleanup, I went and I reviewed these videos and I discovered that all these claims that were being made on my Rosny Children's Choir videos were fraudulent claims by a guy using multiple aliases, but the main one that kept sticking up was the name Latinautorperf. And basically what he was doing was as well as that name, he was whacking in about a dozen different names as content owners for a video, claiming copyright on that video, and then sharing revenue. Now that sounds harmless if you are not monetized, and there's probably a lot of people like me who saw that there was a copyright claim on their video and went, well, it doesn't matter, I'm not monetized. The thing is, he was still being given income from my videos. Even though I wasn't monetized, he was being given income from my videos. It's just part of how the policy works. Because he was claiming it as his own content, anytime someone watched my videos, he was being given income from that, which I only discovered later on. I discovered all this when I suddenly noticed irregularities and dug deeper, discovered that this guy was a complete utter fraud. So I put in content disputes for all those videos that he had claimed copyright on. And for the majority of them, he removed his copyright claim. Now, there were some that were still just sitting there, and I was waiting to find out what had happened. And I hadn't thought to go back to them until this week, when I uploaded my video about Rosny Choir and 4 songs that were by Rosny Choir. So I added to the whole Rosny Choir playlist. Out of those 5 videos, he claimed copyright on 4 of them. One of them being my video actually telling the story of the Australian Rosny Children's Choir. He was once again claiming copyright on I Still Call Australia Home, which he had claimed it as being by the Wayfarers, which it is not. And I had disputed the original claim that he had made when I put just the video with the choir singing I Still Call Australia Home. I had disputed that, and he had dropped his claim. So I was really annoyed to see that he had claimed again for I Still Call Australia Home. So for those 4 videos, I put disputes in yet again. You know, basically, this is fair use. This is not content that he has any claim over, yada yada. And then I thought, I'll just go back and check to see if those other videos that he claimed have been cleared. And my timing was perfect, because I got to right down to the Rainbow Connection. Now, before I got to that, I noticed that he had removed his copyright claims on the other videos that he'd claimed, except for the Rainbow Connection. And when I had a look at that, because I could see it was still copyright claimed, and I expected to see that it was perhaps actually finally being claimed by the real copyright owner. And I was quite happy to accept that until I clicked on the Resolve Issues, and I read that I had 5 days left to remove the video from YouTube, or I would receive it would be removed and I would receive a copyright strike. Now, the way copyright strikes work on YouTube is that you get 3 strikes and you're out. Essentially, your channel gets taken down. So I had a look at it, and sure enough, it was this Latinautorperf now claiming a takedown on my video. So what's changed? Well, basically, I caught him out when I started putting in claims for the most recent videos. And I, as well as pointing out that it was fair use anyway, I also pointed out that he was fraudulently claiming it. Now, when you do this, it goes back to the person who's making the claim. Clearly, he didn't like that. And since then, having once again done my research, I've discovered that other people have been stung by him when they've pushed back against his claims, including being sent a whole bunch of spam emails. So I'm just waiting for that to start. But anyway, so I saw that he was doing a takedown, and it was specifically him. And so my first reaction was, I don't want a copyright strike on this channel. And I was really, really angry. Like, my thoughts were, how dare he? He has no claim over this content, and now he's putting a copyright strike on it because I dared to push back and say that he doesn't have any claim. And then I had a closer look, and he was claiming, unfortunately, this was after I had deleted the video, because I should back up there. So I didn't want a copyright strike, so I removed the video. and I'll talk about the actions that I've taken with relation to that video in a minute. But I only discovered after taking the video down that in fact he was claiming that I was using content that was from live CMA Awards in 2019. My video is clearly labelled Australian Rosny Children's Choir 1982. The recording was from a ABC television show which was created in 1982, and it is quite evident that that is where it comes from. In fact, there are similar versions of this on YouTube which show exactly where it comes from. And yet he was claiming that I was playing a video of a performance from a 2019 awards ceremony. But I didn't discover this till after I'd removed my video from YouTube. Now, having seen this, I went and I checked my emails to see if there was any further information with regards to what was going on here. And I suddenly discovered that one of the videos that I had put my dispute in for the other day, Come Follow the Band, he had also decided to push back against that and dispute that. As yet, there's no takedown order that I've seen, but I will check that momentarily. But he claimed that for that one, the melody found, the content that was stolen, essentially, was the melody found from Come Follow the Band. Well, no shit, Sherlock. That's what the music is. But you don't own the copyright for that music. I've looked it up. I know exactly who owns the copyright for that music. It is not him. Now, going back to my emails. I checked my emails and that gave a bit more details. So what he did, even though he made the copyright claim as Latinautorperf and put a bunch of other things in there, with the Rainbow Connection, he made the takedown request under the auspices of Comca CS. You may or may not be familiar with what Comca is. Comca is basically the standard bearer for the Korean music industry. They basically, I guess, control copyright for the Korean music industry. And trust me, they do not own the copyright for the Rainbow Connection. I have in fact emailed the real copyright owners for the Rainbow Connection requesting permission to use my video on YouTube. Although now that I realise what's going on, I'm tempted to just put it back up anyway. So he's claimed that one under Comca with the email comca@gmail.com. Like, come on. It's not even a proper organisational email. Gmail, anyone can set up. When it comes to Come Follow the Band, I discovered that he's claimed it under IPRS CS. What's IPRS, you ask? It's the Indian, as in the country, India, the Indian copyright body. Trust me, Come Follow the Band is not owned by them. It is from the musical Barnum. You can do your research, you can find out who it's written by, you can find out who the copyright owners are. The reason I'm not saying on here is because obviously I'm going to continue to pursue this, and I'm not giving him free answers to this. but basically this guy has escalated to the point where he has basically forced me to take down a video, or I would have been given a copyright strike. The only thing I can see is that he has realised that my channel is now monetised. So there's more in it for him to want to keep his false copyright claims. Because now that means I have a channel that has subscribers. It has people who regularly come to my channel and regularly view my content. He's seen dollar signs and decided to take advantage of that, so he's not going to back down over his claims. So, what have I done? Like I said, I have emailed the copyright owners of the Rainbow Connection and put in a copyright request so I can specifically have their permission to upload it back onto YouTube. I've also gone through with the other videos that he's claimed, and I have made note of the ID number for each of those musical pieces, the composers and the copyright owners. And I will be contacting each of those copyright owners and notifying them that this is what is going on. Because I'm not going to be bullied by some loser sitting in his mum's basement who thinks he can steal money from me, because that is what he is essentially doing. Now, I still have a number of songs from Rosny Choir that I plan on uploading. And my first reaction when I saw what he was doing was, well, I can't upload them because he's just going to hit me with more copyright claims. And I've just gone, well, no, to heck with this. I'm not going to be prevented from uploading these songs. I'm still going to upload them gradually, and I'm going to push back against his claims. And I'm going to make sure that this guy doesn't get to play the bully and play the thief any longer. I have already reported him to the company that owns the copyright for the Rainbow Connection. And trust me, that company is a big company that does not look too kindly on people who try to claim copyrights on their works. So I'm hoping that their legal team will catch up with him. Like I said, the other videos that are currently in dispute, I have researched, I know who owns the copyright for them, and I will be making contact with them. I will also be making contact with Comca and IPRS to let them know that there is someone fraudulently claiming to be them and claiming copyright over videos on YouTube. Now, when it comes to YouTube itself, I contacted their support team. I had heard that the best way to get attention from YouTube is to go onto X. So I did just that. Under my other account, because I actually haven't got an X account for my Cheeky Koala account, because really I only use X to get information for cases that I'm covering on my other account. But I went onto X and I made a post aimed at YouTube support, or the YouTube support team, where I outlined the problem, basically, and said this needs to be stopped. What did they respond with? They basically told me that we understand your concern. If there's a copyright infringement on a content, it's best to have the copyright owner or an authorised representative contact us, because there's a specific process for them to submit a takedown request, which totally did not address the problem at all. They didn't even understand what I was telling them. I'm not talking about the need for a takedown request. I'm talking about someone scamming off my videos. So I've actually given them 3 replies because, as you know, on X you can only put so much in one reply. My first reply: he has fraudulently claimed content from multiple channels over many years and is claiming shared revenue. I'm not asking for any content to be removed. I'm asking for YouTube to investigate this person and stop allowing him to steal from content creators. My second reply: I think you've missed the point of what I was saying here. The individual is claiming copyright on people's content and claiming a share of their income, when in fact he is not a copyright owner. My final response was: please take time to watch my video explaining this in full. So I'm interested to see how they respond to this. Now, there is also a link in my YouTube studio which allows me to contact the support team that way via what is essentially an email. And I've done that too. I will just say that trying to find that link to actually contact them directly is crazy. It's nearly impossible. It's like you have to go through a maze to find it. And I'm sure it's set up that way because YouTube really don't give a rat's about supporting their creators. But I have to say, I've reached the point where I'm really angry and I'm really frustrated with YouTube because it appears that they are just going to sit back and allow this guy to continue stealing from creators. I'm going to follow the steps that I've said, and I should probably also mention I have also reported him to the FBI. If he wants to do this sort of thing, he's playing with the wrong person, because I don't give up. I play fairly. I play by the rules. But I don't put up with bullies, and I don't put up with people who try to scam me. And I don't give in. There are plenty more options for other things that I can do if this person is not stopped. But for now, that's what I've done. But I am so angry. And, you know, I hate to think how many people have been hit by this guy. Because if you go and you watch my original video, you can see he's been doing this for years. And he seems to just go at so much content. Not just music content, but gaming content also. It's about time somebody did something to stop him. So thanks for listening. I know it's a slight departure from my usual videos, but I know many of you saw my earlier video about this and I wanted to give you an update. And I also wanted to get this information out on YouTube for the sake of any other content creators who may hopefully stumble across it and discover what this worm has been up to. So thanks for listening. Please hit the like button, please leave a comment below, and I'll catch you in the next one.